G'day guys, Pro Ricky back in the office. We're going to do another woman review here. Subscribe, like and share the video. This woman here has come out of a 15-year marriage and she's saying that dating sucks. Well, welcome to the real world. She's obviously saddened, upset, let down, disheartened. She feels cast down, depressed and dispirited. Frustrated, disgruntled, you name it. This is what happens to these milfed old women. She's 30-something that just can't seem to crack it once they leave their marriage. They feel baffled, thwarted, frustrated. They can even get depressed and dismayed and disillusioned, disenchanted because they've fallen for a bill that's not real. It's not better outside of marriage. You're better off getting married, sticking with your marriage. Hopefully you marry the right person. Like a lot of these women can't pick the right blokes to marry. But he couldn't have been too bad because he's lasted 15 years with her before something's gone wrong. So let's see what happens, guys, to this one. This is another tale in what we're seeing in the behaviour of women. Let's just see what she's got to say and I'll comment. Remember, subscribe, like and share this channel. We're up to 19 subscribers, but we need to have more than that. We need to get this going, guys. Come on, I'm trying to help people. Let's see what this woman's got to say for herself. I'll just fix this up a bit. I'll bring her in. No, we don't want that. We only want that. And I'll bring this across, put that back, and let's go.
Okay, I think it's time for a quick story time.
And this is the thing too, they're calling this rubbish story time. Who wants to know your story? The only good thing about this for us guys is we're getting to see inside the mind of these women. And if she's left a marriage after 15 years, I don't know what to say to her. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of these Sheilas that are getting married and then just pulling the pin on it out from underneath, not just themselves, but everybody else involved in the family unit. And they don't care about the consequences.
Today's dating world.
Today's dating world, I'll tell you right now, guys, is a zoo. You're throwing yourself out with the wolves. If you're in a marriage, do what you can to stay in it. Be the best person that you can to stay in your marriage, because they'll pull the pin out from underneath you if there's a way. That's how this society's lined up today, to pull out the rug from underneath families. They don't want families because that builds a sound structural community environment. They don't want that. They want everything to be foiled and dashed and failed and baffled. And here's another classic case of a woman that's put herself out there for everyone to see in front of all her ex-family and that, and now she's doing this.
I can't help but laugh because dating...
Well, you know, again, sorry for busting in all the time, but they're laughing what at? The position they've put themselves in? I don't think it's a laughable matter at all, guys. I think it's a situation where societies are being destroyed by people breaking up families. For whoever's fault it is.
2022 or dating even for the past, just dating in this era is ridiculous and I don't understand it and I don't know what to do. And
this is the point. They don't understand it and they don't know what to do because she probably got her way all throughout the marriage. And now all of a sudden she's dealing with guys that are just not going to put up with her. Just not going to do things her way. And this is where they come undone. Doesn't suit them because they've had everything their way up until now in most cases.
And I'm almost 40 and I'm stuck.
Almost 40. She's had it. She hit the wall at 30. She's got kids. She left a 15-year marriage. I mean, these people have got to understand you're not the trophy. I mean, honestly. What has she really got to offer at nearly 40? She doesn't look, you know, she's aged.
Between if I date younger men, they're not in the
Okay,
same...
so she'll go for the young guys. And they all do. They try out the young guys and they get ran through and left. And then end up disillusioned and disheartened and dispirited by that. But what that does, it only helps things go to their head until they wake up a bit and then realise that it's not what it all appears to be. I mean, what's a young guy want with a shrill old woman like these old women? I mean, they're only stroking their... For all... Did she get any young guys? She would have. But they're only going to come and run her through and then nick off to someone. What a young guy want an old girl for? A mum, a second mum? They got mum issues? They definitely ain't going to stay very long, that's for sure, as she's finding out. But she's putting a different spin on it. She's going to say, oh no, they're immature. And these guys are calculated. 100% calculated. Guys, what amazes me about these women that leave their marriages, maybe the guys let them down or whatnot. I've known women that have been married to guys that have been absolute bastards, but stuck in their marriage. And they're a lot happier than these Sheilas like this that are out there getting ran through by every Tom, Dick and Harry that couldn't care less about them to be left sitting on their own. That's what's happening to them, guys. They're getting left sitting on their own. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel.
Page as me, or they're immature. If I date older men, there's so much fucking trauma. And
so much trauma. Like, look at the trauma this woman's brought on herself. And it's true about men. That's what this channel's for, to help guys to get through their brokenness and hurt and pain. Get off the grog, get off the drugs, and, you know, do some exercise and eat well and live well and not get labelled like this, not give women opportunity to label you like this. Be the best that you can be. Turn up and be the best that you can be. Don't get thwarted by these women, man. Because they will. They'll do it to you. Turn up and be calm and careful and comforted. Contented and enchant these people. Encourage. Be fulfilled, happy and heartened in yourself. And you'll please and satisfy and not cause worry. But these women, don't worry, they're going to look for the weaknesses. Most women have got you sized up in seconds. Is this guy going to be any good or not? And this is what you're up against, guys. You've got to take this on board and realise. You'll get taken down, man. They'll shoot you down and put you in a downcast situation at the first opportunity they get, because that's just how it works. Guys, it's just how it works.
men don't tend to do the work on themselves. And I'm not speaking...
Well, this is a funny paradox. Let me just say this, guys. A lot of women don't do the work on themselves either. Now, she might think they do, but in actual reality, a lot of them don't. And that's just the truth. The women, in most cases, are worse than men because they just keep bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and getting older, and their body count's up. They can't pair bond anymore. They've got everybody's DNA running through them. They've got different personalities and characters from the transitions that take place when they sleep with people. You do know that, don't you? When you sleep with somebody, you're inviting their personality and everything into your psyche. And in some cases, some people's spirit haven't got the filter abilities to get these personalities back out. And that's why people end up with split personalities and physical ailments that they catch from other people. This is the danger of all this. Now, you can see the desperation on her face. I didn't stop that there on purpose, but there's obviously definitely, I'll just shift, definitely a look of desperation on that face. I don't care what you say. She's in all sorts, and she's put herself in this position by leaving the marriage bed.
Speaking for all men, I'm just speaking for a lot of men. Compared to women, don't take the time to work on themselves.
I don't believe that, guys. I don't believe that. I think she's just made that up. A lot of women, just as equal to men, will not do the work on themselves to improve. They just, as I said before, they just bounce, bounce, bounce from here to there and everywhere, and end up in all sorts of situations and messes like this girl. They just end up sitting on their own with a dog, or using the children as surrogate partners, which is called covert emotional incest. And It's a mess, guys. It's a mess because the safest place to be is in your marriage.
And so I'm stuck in this place where...
And she's stuck in this place. You know what it's called? I say to my girlfriend, limbo. They're stuck in limbo.
I seem to be dating one of two types of men. They either think that they're too good for me.
Now that was hard for her to say, wasn't it? And some of them might be too good for her, for all we know. Some of them damn well might be. Not in all cases, but I bet some of them are. Oh, now she thinks that's funny. Well, what's that show you guys? Is she doing the work that she needs to do to be humble and wise? That sounds sarcastic to me.
Or I'm not, I guess, successful enough. Or...
See, again, guys, look, listen to me. Men aren't interested in female success. We're only interested in female support, female help, female coming in behind us and doing things that we need done to have a peaceful life. A woman's career is irrelevant to most men. I don't care about a woman's career. I care about her femininity, how she's going to express that towards me, and what I can have from that to strengthen my masculinity. That's a good woman. I'm not saying women shouldn't have careers. That's not what I'm saying at all, guys. What I am saying is the femininity of a woman towards man is more important than all else. That's all I'm saying. Don't care about a woman's career.
They don't think they're good enough for me. And
well, I've never heard that before. Usually when a man is in a relationship with a woman and he says that he's not good enough for her, that's an excuse for him to back out. That's an excuse for him to find his way back out. Doesn't want to be there. You're too good for me. I got to get out of this. You know what I mean? That's an excuse. It's a back out. It's a cop out.
And so right now I'm dating this guy who tells me all the time that he doesn't think that he's good enough for me.
That's keeping himself sitting on the fence. You can see that a mile away. He's not willing to commit. That's what he means by I'm not good enough for you. It comes under the elements of postponing things. It's unwatching. It's indirectly shunning and evading a situation. It's a form of scorning when you say you're not good enough. It's overlooking and being unwanted. It's making you putting yourself into a situation where you're unwanted. But the woman's saying that she does want the guy. You see, so he's just sitting on the fence. It's the perfect Passover tactic to leave yourself in a situation where not only can she be tossed aside, but he can too. It deteriorates any possibility of momentum in the relationship, and it causes a real sense of inconsiderateness. And all it does is lapse time and depreciate and defer what the possibilities are within the relationship. And women have got to realise this. Somebody says they're not good enough. They're saying, I'm not sure if I want to be in this or not. I'm just going to use you.
And he doesn't understand why I'm with him.
Well, can't you guys? Oh, guys. This is how, and you can see the disdain on her face. Look, he can't understand why I want to be with him. He doesn't want to understand why she wants to be with him. She just doesn't realise, but she's just on the carousel of guys that are going through women trying to find the right one, and she ain't the right one for this guy, because anybody that says to a woman, I'm not good enough to you, has got 1,000 excuses as to why they don't want to be in it. But they don't want to see this. They become desperate. They don't want to be cast aside or omitted or forgotten. And that's just how it is. They don't want to be unwanted or spurned or overlooked or ignored. But that's the thing that somebody means when they say, and come on, somebody comment when they say you're too good for me or I'm not good enough for you. It's the biggest 101 excuse for sitting on the fence that there is.
And how many times can somebody tell a person why that's not true and why you're attracted to them to begin with?
Because you're being used. You're just on the carousel. And that's what's happening to these women. They can't pick people that are probably a little bit less than what they are. She's going for a guy that's just using her up. And she's in limbo.
And I know from previous experience and from my marriage that...
So she's been banged a fair bit, and she can't land anybody. She left the marriage again, and she's in this carousel. She's in limbo. You know how you see those horror movies, and there's just a merry-go-round or a carousel spinning around with no one on it? That's what she is. She's on the carousel with no one on it except herself and doesn't know how to get off it. Because if you can't find the right person, you ain't getting off it. And a lot of these women never do. They end up alone with cats and dogs and budgies and canaries, or a minx or something like this, or a ferret, because they just couldn't find their way back into a proper relationship because they left their marriage instead of working on it.
I can't fix anybody. I'm not...
Well, the thing is, see, I can't fix it. Nobody has to fix anybody. This is a big problem. If she can't fix someone, and again, look at the face, what's she still mucking around with this guy for, guys? Because she doesn't want to be spurned. She doesn't want to be unwanted again. She doesn't want to be deserted. And she doesn't want to be ignored. And so she's going to persist. Why didn't she persist with a marriage? Because they lose interest. And it's our responsibility as married men, if you're a married man, I'm not, to keep this woman, if you can, in a position where she's not going to be placing you in a position where I'm leaving the marriage. And this is what you're up against, guys. So you've got to be 100% on your game. 100%. Because these women are up against all the influences that are telling them that their marriage ain't worthwhile, that the marriage has no value, that you're better off on the carousel, trying to find Mr. Right, and they lose their way. The Bible says in Isaiah, the sacred manuscripts say, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have gone every one to our own way. And this is the problem with human nature today. We think we know better, but God gave us a safeguard, which was marriage. And we have abused it. And that's it, men and women.
Here to fix anybody, and people need to do the work on themselves. I did the work on myself, and he needs to do the work on himself in order to be his best version for me.
He doesn't have to be anything for her. Guys, she's just chosen this guy off the internet that she fancies, and he'll just turn up as it suits him, obviously, and he's prepared to say, I'm not good enough for you, you're too good for me, and she's still pursuing the guy. This is what the dating market's like. It is so easy. If they like you, you can treat them however you want. It's not that I recommend you do that, but that's why women should stay in their marriages.
But the problem is that I'm an empath, and I see the good in everybody. And
well, it doesn't sound like it. She's just said that he needs to improve himself. So she ain't seeing all the good in somebody. What she's saying is, I like this guy and I don't want to lose him despite his faults. Well, why didn't you think that for your husband as well?
I see what his potential is. And I can't stay away from the guy, but I don't know what to do. Okay,
so she's cock-smacked. She's got the lollipop, and she can't change. See, this is what happens. There's a part in every woman that likes to betray what's right. They like to scorn what's right, and it gives them a sense of it gives them a thrill, it gives them a euphoria, and she's lost in her own mind. She's just said, this guy's no good for me, he says he's no good for me, but I'm going to pursue him because I can see the good in him. Well, why didn't she see the good in her husband? I know I always come back to that, but you've got to ask yourself, guys, he's given her children, probably housed her, whatnot, and this and that. And I don't know what the reality of why the marriage ended, but it went for 15 years and the arse fell out of it. And now she's just floating around, as I said earlier, on the carousel, pursuing something that really is saying to her, I'm not all that interested.
Don't know what. I'm not ready to let him go, but I know that he can't fully provide what I need from him.
So did you just hear the contradiction in that? I'm not ready to let him go, even though he can't fully provide what I need in him. If that ain't words of desperation, this is a desperate woman, guys. This is a woman that's prepared to waste valuable time chasing a Chad, chasing a Tyrone that just wants to run her through. She likes being ran through. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if that sounds really unsavoury, but that's the mentality these women fall into. They fall for the lust. They fall for the lollipop. That's what is driving this woman. She don't like this guy.
Me. And so I'm lost as to how to navigate this freaking dating world.
Okay, so she's in limbo. She's just said it herself. She's lost. And this is representing hundreds of thousands of women who have decided that feminism and these other things, find the faults in men and get a new one, is the way to go. Because if she was really committing herself and trying to find a way in which the marriage could have worked, she wouldn't be lost. How embarrassing, for this woman. Really, how embarrassing. She's called herself West Coast Mama Lee. If this is an example for her children, then the future for the next generations is really, really bleak. And it's not looking good.
I'm almost 40, and this is by far the longest I've been single. I've been single for a couple years now.
And this is the thing, guys. As they get older, their options get less. As men get older, their options become more. As women get older, their options become less. And they have to put up with more trouble than they had within their marriage. And they don't realise this when they jump ship. They're just jumping out of the lifeboat and in with the sharks.
Which is not a bad thing. I've been able to do so much for myself, but...
Again, which is not a bad thing because it's all about myself. And look at the face again. Oh, come on, guys. This is what you're getting yourself into out there.
God damn it. Dating is daunting.
So God's getting the blame here, and now she's swearing.
I hate it.
And she hates it. I bet in the back of her mind she's wishing she stayed in a marriage, guys. She should have stayed where it was all happening for her, where she had integrity and a legacy, and she threw all that away, not just for herself and the husband, but for the kids as well.
I don't know. Tips, tricks, secrets for a high-value woman and finding a high-value man?
How do we know she doesn't sound like a high-value woman to me? She doesn't even look like a high-value woman to me. If she's chasing Chad around and can't keep these guys in a bed, how is she a high-value woman? How do you class a high-value woman, guys? A high-value woman is a woman that does everything she can to keep a marriage. Not get on the hot carousel, chasing lollipop everywhere, lost, aimless, and cast aside. Oh no, this is delusion at its best.
I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore.
And that's exactly the statement for feminism. I don't know what to do anymore. And isn't that atrocious, guys? Subscribe, like, and share this channel, Pro Bricky exclusive. Let's get these numbers up. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't worry, there's hundreds of thousands of these women out there. They've put themselves out of the security and direction and health and happiness that could be sustained in a marriage. I mean, honestly, when I was a minister, we used to put these people through 6 weeks of this is what you're going into, etc. Oh, yes, 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 yes. But a lot of us now haven't got the character to sustain the journey under the principles that marriage requires. But we can if we put our minds to it. I honestly believe the old-fashioned values, the ancient values of marriage and all the rest of it are the way to go. And I just hope more people find their way back into it. This is Pro Bricky on the Pro Bricky exclusive channel. Again, subscribe, like, and share this video. Bye for now.